Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. If we step away from viewing our bodies as just mechanical engines, and instead see them as vehicles running on a precious, physical fuel reserve called essence, well, it completely changes our daily choices. Your kidneys are holding onto that stamina, waiting to deploy it when you need it most. Knowing this, look at your next meal and ask yourself, how will the food you eat today power your vitality tomorrow?
I worked as a banker for 30 years, but now I work as an acupuncturist.
Welcome to the Explainer. We've all been there, right? You catch yourself saying, I'm out of energy, or my batteries are completely drained. But have you ever actually stopped to think about what that means inside your body? Today, we're diving into the Eastern view of health. Our goal is to take some ancient, foundational concepts about human vitality and translate them into simple, everyday English that you can use to really understand your own body. We're going to strip away all the complex jargon and map out exactly how your inner engine works.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the Eastern view of health, break the body into 3 categories, explore the 3 treasures of energy, understand your vital essence, and finally, look at the origins of our essence.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the Eastern view of health, beyond the physical.
To really get this, we kind of need to flip how we usually look at human biology. Eastern medicine doesn't just look at the physical parts you can touch. It treats the body as a dynamic system where invisible forces are just as important. Which brings up a really great question. What is the actual source of our daily stamina? Like, when you wake up completely exhausted but still manage to power through a tough afternoon, what is literally fueling that push? Is it just the calories you ate at lunch, or is there a deeper, underlying reservoir of power in there? Well, Eastern medicine has a very specific answer for this, and bridging our everyday exhaustion with these insights is going to totally change how you view your energy levels.
Moving to Section 2, 3 categories of the body, the vehicle analogy.
A really easy way to grasp these categories is by comparing your body to a car. First up, we have form. This includes your physical organs, tissues, and bones. In our analogy, this is the actual car itself. The heavy metal chassis, the engine block, the tires. Second, we have the meridians. These are the pathways connecting your organs and acupoints. Think of these as the wiring and the fuel lines hidden inside the walls of the car. And third, we have energy. This is the driving force that actually animates you. Because let's face it, a beautiful chassis and perfect wiring mean absolutely nothing without electricity and fuel. That invisible power is what actually makes the car drive down the road.
Section 3, the 3 treasures of energy. Zooming in on our inner power.
So let's zoom in on the actual fuel and electricity that gets us moving every single day. In Eastern medicine, this energy category is broken down into something beautifully called the 3 treasures or Sanbao. These are the absolute core components of human vitality. They are Qi, Jing, which means essence, and Shen, which means spirit. They're called treasures because, well, they are the most precious, vital resources you possess. You protect and nourish them, and you thrive.
Let's plug these back into our car analogy so you can see how they work together. Qi is your active energy. It's the moving power of the body, a lot like the electricity sparking the engine or the motion of the pistons. Then there's Shen, your spirit, which governs your consciousness. Think of Shen as the driver sitting at the wheel, making decisions. But then we have Jing, your essence. This is the raw stamina source that creates the power in the first place. In our analogy, Jing is the actual physical gasoline sitting in the gas tank. Without the gasoline, there is no electricity, and the driver's just sitting in a parked car.
Section 4. Understanding your vital essence, the body's fuel reserve.
Because it is the foundation of absolutely everything else, we're going to isolate and focus entirely on that gasoline in the tank, your Jing. Now, this vital essence isn't just floating around randomly in your bloodstream. Eastern medicine is highly specific about where this treasure is kept. Your Jing, this fundamental source of physical stamina, is securely stockpiled right inside your kidneys. So in this view of health, your kidneys aren't just filters, they are the central vault. They are the deep reserve tank holding the very essence of your vitality.
And why is it kept locked in a vault like that? Because essence acts as your body's ultimate backup generator. On a normal, easy day, you might just coast on the energy from the food you eat. But when you push yourself, when you're working late, under a ton of stress, or fighting off a cold, your daily energy, your qi, runs low. When that happens, the kidneys open up the vault. They send this precious stored Jing to various parts of the body to step in and literally save the day, keeping your systems running when they otherwise would have crashed completely. Section 5. The origins of our essence. Where does our stamina come from?
Okay, so if we're constantly dipping into this reserve to survive our busy lives, how does the tank get filled up in the first place? Well, we actually have two distinct bank accounts for this fuel. The first is congenital essence, which is the fuel we inherit directly from our parents before we are even born. The second account is acquired essence. This is the fuel we manufacture entirely on our own after we're born, generated day by day from the food and drinks we consume. Together, these two sources combine to fill up that reserve tank in your kidneys.
Let's look a little closer at that first account, congenital essence. You can think of this as your innate baseline fuel, kind of like your starting trust fund. From the moment you are formed, this essence is stored immediately in your kidneys. It's absolutely vital for early life because it is the specific energy that drives childhood growth and proper organ development. In fact, in Eastern medicine, if a child is born with low congenital essence, it can lead to noticeable issues. Things like slow physical growth, bedwetting, or chronic childhood asthma are often viewed as signs that this initial inherited tank of fuel was just running a bit low.
But here is the really good news, and this is where you actually have control. The power of acquired essence. While you can't change the starting fuel you inherited, acquired essence is created continuously by you every single day. You extract it from the nutrients in your daily meals. This newly generated energy is sent straight down to the kidneys, where it combines with your inherited essence. Basically, even if your parents only gave you a half-full tank to start with, a great diet and healthy habits allow you to top it off yourself.
The process of refilling this tank is just a beautifully logical system. Step 1, we consume our daily food and drinks. Step 2, organs like the stomach and the spleen process it. Step 3, and this is key, instead of just turning into standard calories, the absolute finest, purest essence of that nutrition is extracted. That's your acquired essence. And finally, step 4, this new essence is shipped via those meridian fuel lines we talked about earlier, straight into the kidneys. It's literally a direct physical pipeline from your dinner plate to your deepest energy reserves.
Because that pipeline exists, we see an incredibly inspiring fact in our source material. As a child grows, if they're fed well and their digestive system is strong, they produce a massive, robust supply of acquired essence. This fresh fuel flows into the kidneys, topping up the tank so effectively that it can actually compensate for a low starting inheritance. This is exactly why many children naturally outgrow ailments like asthma or bedwetting as they get older. The body literally heals itself just by refilling its own vital fuel tank.
Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. If we step away from viewing our bodies as just mechanical engines, and instead see them as vehicles running on a precious, physical fuel reserve called essence, well, it completely changes our daily choices. Your kidneys are holding onto that stamina, waiting to deploy it when you need it most. Knowing this, look at your next meal and ask yourself, how will the food you eat today power your vitality tomorrow? Thank you for joining me on this explainer. I hope this structured look at Eastern health has sparked your curiosity to learn even more about the amazing energy inside you.
I worked as a banker for 30